Okay. Hello, everyone. Erin is nothing if not consistent. In our many years of sharing a room, good luck, Peter, Erin would write down the various things I would say in my sleep and share them with me and others the next morning. It was only appropriate then that this morning, when I woke up, I got a full report of my unconscious ramblings. Apparently, at some point, I very decidedly said, "Europe." And more fittingly, I later said, "When push comes to shove, I'll be ready." I have no idea what I was dreaming about, but it may have been this speech, so here goes. I've had a good deal of time to prepare my maid of honor toast. That is not a dig at Erin being old, but rather a reference to how she unwittingly let me know 12 years ago that I would be her maid of honor. For her theology final on vocations, her senior year at Villa, Erin had a choice of a few different projects. One was researching a religious order that suited her. She did not choose that one. The second was to carry around a flour sack flower baby to simulate motherhood, or she could plan her wedding. So Erin chose to plan her wedding. As a side note, when I was a senior, I chose to carry around the flower baby because it was the least amount of work, which is not how I understand motherhood to be in real life. Erin's project consisted of making a program for the wedding, picking out the readings, the hymns, the bridesmaids, the husband, and writing a report on the vocation of marriage. For some inexplicable reason, Erin would not let me see her wedding program that she had come up with for the project. So like the dutiful younger sister that I am, after she had gone to bed one night, I went through her things until I found it. I was as honored then as an 8th grader as I was when she asked me a year ago to read that she had chosen me to be her maid of honor in her wedding to His Royal Highness Prince William Philip Louis Arthur of Windsor. Remembering her project and thinking it could be a useful prop come June 20th, I again played the dutiful younger sister the last time I was home. With the help of my co-conspirator Jane, I dragged Erin's boxes of high school paraphernalia from the attic and methodically went through them piece by piece. We hoped against hope that she had not thrown it away, so we were thrilled when we found that this artifact had survived the test of time. The envelope, please. We were astonished to learn that Erin apparently possesses some clairvoyant abilities, although they are not always entirely reliable. For instance, she predicted her wedding would be in Washington, D.C. Correct. But at the Washington National Cathedral, not quite. Of her 9 bridesmaids, she guessed 3, Maureen, Patricia, and me. Of the other 6, only 1 was even invited. Caitlin Mahoney. She also predicted, interestingly enough, that she would get married on June 20th. It's right here. It's right here, guys. In 2010. You are 5 years behind schedule. She was also not quite accurate in terms of who her husband would be. As we all know, that gold digger Kate Middleton beat us all to our shop at a royal wedding. So what did Erin do in her heartbreak? She found the next most eligible bald bachelor. The most excellent Peter Joseph Dwyer of Williamsburg. Peter, you're a prince in our hearts, and we could not be more thrilled that our royal wedding fell through. Although I think your future sons may feel a twinge of regret when they look upon the luscious locks of Prince William and dream of what might have been. Seriously though, Peter, you are everything I could wish for my sister. Yes, you blended seamlessly into our family. You're kind, thoughtful, patient, and generous. You have a good sense of humor. You're tall. You're handsome but not vain. Your family is very nice. You have a well-balanced diet. You don't do CrossFit. You're neither a liberal hippie nor a conservative whack job. You appreciate the value of several beers, or a few stronger drinks, but you are not an alcoholic. You exhibit qualities that lead me to believe that you will make a fine father. You've never done jail time, have you? You are not a member of a cult. You enjoy playing board games. You do not overshare on Facebook, and I haven't had to hide you from my newsfeed, which I really appreciate. You help with the dishes, and the first day I met you, Erin, Will, and I tasted a few too many beers in our elementary school gymnasium. And when I accidentally vandalized the youth group room, you did not judge me. Erin, on behalf of Maureen and Patricia and all of our cousins, I want to thank you for paving the way. You've always been the first to reach the major milestones, and you've done so. This is the part I just added. You've done so with such grace. We look up to you, and I do not know where we would be without you. No one can take charge like you can. No one can make a reservation like you can. And no one can plan a wedding like you can. Everyone needs an Erin, so we are the luckiest to have you, Peter, most of all. I love you both, and I will always be on your team. Now, Erin, I would like you to hold out your hand. Peter, put your hand on top of hers. Now look into each other's eyes and cherish this moment. As everyone who loves you bears witness to the last time that you, Peter, will ever have the upper hand. May your love always grow. Yeah, baby. Way to make us feel good. All right, LeBron.
All right, well done, Clay. Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together. Maybe I shouldn't have stolen a line from The Princess Bride to open my best man speech, but good evening, everyone. It's a wonderful evening. I'm glad I'm here with you. I'd like to start off by thanking Jim and Jane for throwing a great party on what is a momentous day in Peter and Erin's lives. I look around here, I see so many of Erin's family, particularly cousins. I can't believe how many of you there are. Peter and I, when we get together at family gatherings, we're not used to quite so much family. We come from a small family. We have 2 first cousins. Big shout out to them. So we look to bring more of the quality and maybe less of the quantity when family gatherings. I also want to thank my parents, Bobby and Patty Dwyer, for not only putting on a great rehearsal dinner last night to kick the weekend off in style, but also for going ahead and having that second child when they clearly got the first one so perfect. For those of you who I have not had the pleasure to meet yet, I'm Patrick. I'm Peter's lone sibling. I'm actually Peter's older sibling. For a number of years now, people have been getting this wrong. They think that I am younger. I think it has something to do with my angelic baby face and the fact that Peter has no hair on the top of his head. When I was thinking about this speech, I was thinking about Peter and I's relationship and how growing up, we had a very atypical younger-older sibling relationship. I was the older brother who was constantly trying to hang out with my younger brother, thought he was the coolest, I wanted to make him laugh, and Peter did everything possible to stay as far away from me as he could, and to get me in as much trouble as he could, as any younger sibling would do. We were very fortunate. Our relationship took a really cool turn when I left for college, and ever since we've just been, the best of friends, true confidants. He gives me honest advice, and we goof around all the time. So it's really, I think we're both very fortunate in that regard. When I was thinking about this speech, I was talking to my wife, Melissa, and obviously this isn't about Peter and I's relationship, this is about Peter and Erin. And we were taking a look at their relationship, but through our eyes, and a couple of interesting things came up. We thought about the very beginning. They were in sort of the get-to-know-you phase, just texting and calling, and so Peter, we noticed Peter, there's an uptake, text and calling this girl a little bit more than usual. When I say more than usual, I mean at all. Peter didn't really talk to girls, so we were thrilled. Fast forward, and they go on their first date, and I think this is a testament to how special Peter thought Erin was right off the bat. Peter, or Peter the Planner, as he's known in certain circles, 2 days after he met Erin, planned an event to introduce her to some of his friends. We all went to a Nationals game together, and I just remember thinking how, this group of friends, many of whom are here tonight, it was obvious how happy they were, how well they got along. Melissa and I are driving home after the game. We're kind of talking about Erin. We're going down the list, any red flags, and other than the fact that she was a Georgetown alum, we couldn't really come up with any. So we decided we'd let that go. I think it's safe to say the Dwyers, in general, were all in on Erin from the get-go. Now, I talk about Erin, or EO, as she is lovingly called by Peter. Peter cleverly came up with this nickname. He took the first letter of her first name and the first letter of her last name and combined the two to form EO. So we're riding back from the church today. I was thinking about how cool it is. Erin is part of the family. She is a Dwyer. So EO has now become ED, which, that's a nickname she could rock. I don't know if I could do it or many other guys could do it, at least without walking around with a little blue pill in their pocket. Of course I kid. Erin is an amazing person. She's so driven, both personally and professionally. And the coolest part for me is to see how committed she is to Peter and to their relationship. And I know that's only going to serve them well moving forward. So before I close, I have just a brief anecdote about what I think sums up Peter Dwyer, his take on Erin, and how when he commits himself to something, he does it extremely well, efficiently, and very creatively. A little over a year ago, we were sitting at the dinner table with my parents, Melissa, and I, and Peter, And kind of out of the blue, Pete says, I'm going to propose to Erin. I've got the ring, and sometime in the next 6 months, it's definitely going to happen. That's great, man. We're so happy. Okay, So we fast forward 2 weeks go by, and I'm teeing off. It's a Sunday morning at 7:30, and I'm teeing off on the golf course, and I get a call from Peter. He said, "Hey, Patrick, I did it. I asked Erin's parents for her hand in marriage, and I did it." I said, "Pete, that's great. It's 7:30 in the morning." This is a true story. And that's what he did. He had called Jim and Jane the night before. They were up in New Jersey for a wedding. So he calls them up, he gets bagels, they sit around the table and they hash it out. And so I was like, "Well, that's great, bud." And so he goes, "Yeah, I'm definitely going to do it in the next 3 or 4 weeks." Oh, phenomenal. So, of course, 24 hours later, Peter calls my wife, Melissa, to say, not only am I proposing tomorrow, but I am going to do it at the National Building Museum, where Erin and I had our first date. There is a maze exhibit, and he's going to plunk himself down in the middle of the maze. Erin's going to walk in, he's going to propose, and wouldn't you know, it goes off without a hitch. Yeah. It was great. And the icing on the cake was there were actually people in the museum that filmed this on their phones, so it made local news. This proposal by this guy made local news. So not only did they get to share in this wonderful moment, but every guy in the DC metropolitan area got to be chastised by their wife for lack of creativity. So as a representative of that population, thank you, Peter. Erin, you're a beautiful bride. You are the best new Dwyer that we could have asked for. The one obvious caveat is that you are stuck with a knucklehead like me as a brother-in-law, so sorry, B. Peter, I love you, bud. I am so happy for you. I wish you guys nothing but the best. And I know that as you go through lives, as long as you stick together, whatever you do, nothing is going to be too much of a blithery for you to overcome together. So, if everybody would raise a glass, I'd like to toast Peter and Erin and thank God they found each other in the middle of the maze of their lives. Cheers.
Let's give them a big round of applause, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, your second course will now be served.